Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as you saw in the intro, this is going to be a review of the Scorpion's EXO Eclipse Helmet. Full transparency, Scorpion did provide this helmet to do a review for you guys. They did not provide me with a script. They did not review this video before it was released. They simply asked me to provide an honest review, and I appreciate that. I get these opportunities from viewers like you that subscribe to the channel, leave comments. So if you do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. It does really go a long way to supporting the channel. So this is the Eclipse helmet in matte black. This is available in gloss as well as white. This is part of their new, like I said, Apex collection. This helmet particularly is their sport touring model. I've spent a lot of times with various manufacturers and helmets over the years. I have no experience with Scorpion. I wasn't really 100% sure what to expect because they didn't try this helmet on before. But in reviewing the helmet online, I thought it would be a really great opportunity, and Scorpion was able to provide that for me for the review. So this helmet retails for $529, and we're going to go in what comes in the box with the helmet, and my reviews, some riding impressions, and who this helmet's for and the features. So the helmet does come with a helmet bag for the helmet for storage in the winter time or your off season, what have you. So obviously you're going to get the helmet. You're going to get a clear Pinlock-ready shield. You're going to get this Pinlock, which is a 120 Pinlock. It's the larger MaxVision Pinlock. So this is going to give you coverage for the full shield, both up and down and to the sides. One of the things that I really like with the setup on this helmet is because the Pinlock posts are so far back, you can barely see it in your peripheral vision. Like I said, I have the Shoei Neotec 3, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves in that helmet, as the Pinlock doesn't wrap all the way around. To me, it seems like a minor detail, but it gets really annoying in a touring helmet if you're spending all day in it. And I just kind of think it speaks to where Scorpion's doing this to step up to that premium helmet. You're going to get a smoked visor included. This is Pinlock ready. This also has an anti-fogging coating on the outside. This does as well. That's to provide stop fogging from the outside, so you're getting sort of that dual level protection. I did want to mention the Pinlock is a 120 rated Pinlock. That means that you have protection from fogging for 120 seconds. That is a industry standard pretty much for premier helmets. My Schuberth and my Neotec Shoei have that. So it's going to provide you with 120 seconds of anti-fogging at a stoplight. It's a big deal, and it's the best Pinlock they make on the market. Again, sort of setting out where they're going, the market they're going after with this. You're also going to get a sleeve for your shield to protect your shield while you're riding or in storage. This helmet retails for $529 currently. This competes with the Schuberth S3 that retails for $599, and the brand new Shoei Air 3, which retails for $749. So you can see that they're really coming in the lower end of that price range, and they are coming out, in my opinion, with the Apex collection, they're coming out swinging, and you'll understand why in a bit. So let's go over the helmet. This is 4 layers of carbon. It's their light force carbon mix. It's a hybrid mix to provide with speed, strength, comfort, lightness. Speed, I suppose not, but you get the point. This is going to be an EC2206 rated helmet as well as DOT 218. This has a vent in the front, has a 3-position vent. So you have closed, mid, and then all the way open. And then you have the bottom here for the chin, open and closed, and the vent in the back as well as these vents in the back. This features their moisture wick interior, so the helmet is designed to keep you really cool. It also has AirFit cheek pads, which pump up. You can pump up and deflate during riding, and we'll get into that later. So you have the visor. You also have the center release here. Does take a little bit of getting used to if you're not familiar with the front, because you kind of have to retrain your muscles. Pop this open. You have a city position. That's going to be your first detent, and then your second detent, and then all the way up. So it has a 3 detent position. You're going to have the nose guard, the breath guard, whatever you want to call it, to prevent a little bit of fogging. It also is going to force that air into your face and up to the visor, again, to keep the visor from fogging. Has D-ring titanium straps, or sorry, buckles on the bottom here. This inner wick material that they make for this is very plush, very comfortable. You have the emergency release in the unfortunate event that you would get into an accident. So it's got all the features you would expect from a helmet at this price point, and some more that we're going to get into. Helmet is extremely lightweight. I don't have the actual spec on the lightness of this helmet, but I can say it is in the range as far as feel as the Schuberth S3. S3 is a great helmet. It's extremely quiet. But I got to tell you, I was not expecting this. I think as far as a helmet for quality, especially at the price point, this is a serious competitor for the Schuberth S3. It is as light as the S3 on your neck. It may not be on paper exactly. I don't know where it weighs in, but it's an extremely lightweight helmet. It's carbon fiber, so it's going to be light, same as other helmets on the market. But what makes this helmet make me sort of take pause in this is how quiet this helmet is. I was not expecting this helmet to be that quiet. It is going to be subjective, but it's dead on, in my opinion, of the Schuberth S3. It's that quiet. Schuberth is known for their quiet helmets, so if you're buying a touring helmet, quiet is good. Even with earplugs in, which I would recommend wearing, you're still going to get a little bit of that wind noise. So the quieter the helmet is, the less wind noise you're going to get. I did not notice a lot of noise at all, even without earphones. So I ran it with earplugs without, and it's extremely quiet. Again, I was not expecting that. Even with the vents open, it's an extremely quiet helmet, and it flows a lot of air through the helmet, which obviously for touring you want. It does have the titanium buckles, easy to work. Some people would prefer a speed strap. I don't know, it's potato potato. I have both. I don't know that one is necessarily better than the other, but it's all preference. Like I said, very sport touring helmet. It is pre-wired for their comm system that Scorpion makes, its proprietary comm system that retails for $189. It's based on the U-line system. So it's not based on a Cardo or a Senna system. It's based on a different unique system. But it is integrated. That's why you have the hole here. You can pop in the system very easily. It puts the battery in the back. The other thing that I like with that, and you'll see in an upcoming video, I have a Cardo PackTalk Bold Pro, or PackTalk Pro rather, that I'm going to be reviewing shortly. I'm going to put that on this helmet, and I'm going to be using the holes on the side to run the wiring because I want to see how that's going to work. So keep an eye out for that video in the near future. Helmets are sort of this really interesting balancing act. Helmets are based on either features or being a helmet that's really safe. Preferably as you get into that middle range market of the $500 mark, you start getting into a more premium luxury helmet. Like I said, I've spent a lot of time in Shoei's and Schuberth's, and that's sort of the helmet I gravitate towards. But you'll see at that $529 price point, you're getting the fog shield, the Pinlock. You're getting two of the shields. I think it's a great value for the money, and it's definitely something worth considering. Like I said, I was extremely surprised in the ride quality of this helmet and the comfort. So taking it around, we're going to pop this open. And before you guys heckle me in the comments, it is harder to open when you're not wearing it because people are like, oh, it's so hard to open. It's not. It's just kind of retraining your brain. The other thing I did want to point out is the reason they're doing this in the center is when you lift it up, there is no flex in the shield. And the important part of that is after a while of repeatedly opening it up, if you have the lifts on the side, the latches, the arm, whatever you want to call them, it's going to start to warp the visor, and you're not going to be getting that really tight seal. It's going to stop not only air coming through, but it's going to reduce the noise. It's going to stop. It's going to introduce water potentially in the rain and so forth. So the idea of that center handle there is to keep the shield from warping and therefore providing you a longer usage of that particular shield without having to replace it. So this does have a built-in sun shield, sun visor. Very easy to use. Pop it on the side here, up, down. One thing that I really like that they did with this is they put this on the side up top. The Schuberth S3 has it on the bottom. A lot of other helmets have it on the bottom. I find it extremely annoying because if you put a comm system on there, you can't get to it. Therefore, I've never really used them because I found them so annoying. This is completely out of the way. Very easy to reach up, slide it down. It also here has a, oh, where'd it go? It has an adjustment here that you can slide up, and you can put this in two various positions. So you slide this up. It doesn't bring slide it down rather. It brings the shield down a little bit lower, and you can slide it and adjust the height up and down. So this is going to put it in a two-stop position. It's really good, depending on how you're built. If you don't want to hit the bridge of your nose, that tends to happen with these. So it gives you a little variety and choice of the position you want to put it in. Thought that was a nice touch. I am not a big internal visor kind of guy. I do like this one, however. I had broken my sunglasses recently when I went out testing with this. I only had my standard glasses, everyday glasses on. This shield does provide a lot of protection for your eyes. I was surprised at that. Like I said, it's not something that I've used before as a rule, so I really thought it was nice. Other thing I forgot to point out is this is what they refer to, I believe it's a Class 1 shield. So Class 1 is the optical quality, so you don't have distortion. If you see in a lot of the cheaper helmets, the helmet is not the same layering, the same depth, the same thickness all the way around. That's going to provide distortion. So with the Class 1, you get a very clear view. It's going to prevent you from having any sort of distortion. It's those kind of really small things that you say to somebody, oh, it's got a clear view. You're like, eh. But it really does help, and it really does provide less strain in your eyes. And if you're touring all day, it makes a significant difference. The sun shield that drops down is also Class 1. So again, it's definitely the commitment to quality and the commitment to going after other larger brands on the market. Like I said, this is their first introduction to the Apex series, and I think that they're really onto something that's a great value at that $529 price point. So let's bring it down. This is always the fun part. Comes with a chin curtain here. We're going to pop the chin curtain out. This material, obviously it's a video, you won't be able to tell this, but is extremely plush. It's moisture wicking, very comfortable. And one of the things, and you may not be able to see this on the video, I'll drop stills in if that is the case. Pop the side out here. This has these air bladders on the side here. And what happens is you have a pump here and a release. I don't know how well you're going to see this on camera, but if you look here, you can pump these up. And that's going to push the it's going to push the cheek pads in tighter. One of the things that I always find with helmets that's always annoying is that as the helmet breaks in, sometimes it gets a little loose in the cheeks, or you want to adjust the fit. You can do this, and you can do this on the fly. Makes it super easy. Has a release here. You hit the release, lets the air out of the cheek pads. So you can adjust it through the day if you want to adjust it and make it a little tighter, a little looser based on your preference, or as the pads break in more. To that, the most important thing of a helmet, regardless of its price point, is fit. Make sure you take the time out to get professionally fit. Go to a retailer, read the documentation online, and get your helmet fit properly. Any sort of head bobble, anything like that, it's not only going to be a distraction, but if the helmet does not fit properly in the unfortunate event of an accident, it's going to not protect you the way it would if it fit properly. That's the parent speech. We're over with that. So let's pop out the side pads here. Get into the liner. It's always fun doing this because I'm always like, am I going to be able to get this back together? All right, so we'll take those out. We're going to take the center out. I've done this before on this particular helmet, so don't heckle me. All right, so we're going to take this out here. Very plush insides. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to take it all the way out just to save us some time here. But you can see it has very deep channels in there to allow for airflow. And like I said, the airflow is excellent. The airflow in this helmet is excellent. Hopefully I didn't hit the mic there. So you have these big channels to allow for airflow through, keep your head cool. And with the wicking inside lining, it does help significantly. Like I said, I wasn't sure what to expect. What I knew of Scorpion initially, looking around online years ago, their helmets were sort of at a low price point. They were an introductory helmet. They weren't something that I had really tried on or checked out. I had seen that they've come out with this line. I was really interested in trying it out. Scorpion was nice enough to provide this as a review for you guys. I will say this. I run a Schuberth S3 helmet that I did a review on. This helmet is comparable, if not better, in the sense that you can do the air fitting for it. You can also do, you also get for your money, you get a second shield. You get the cover for the second shield as well. I like the pin lock in this helmet more than a Shoei because at least in the Neotec 3, the pins are here in your vision. So you don't have the pin lock all the way around. You have this kind of weird space because when you're doing head checks, you have to turn your head that much more to get a clear shot at what's around you. So I think that's a significant difference. Again, it's the small details that when you start going into that $500 range helmet, all the way up to a 1,000+ helmet, it's those small details that make a really big difference, and that's the difference between an entry-level helmet and starting to go into a premier line of helmets. Lightness of this helmet is great, like I said, because it's carbon. The other thing that I like too is because it's so light, you can head check very easily without catching the bottom of it. A lot of the sport touring helmets have a little bit of a chin to them. You start checking it on your shoulder blades. I really like this helmet. I was really impressed with it. Like I said, it was a great opportunity to review this helmet for you guys, especially it's only been out for I think a couple months now. So I wanted to put out this review, especially in the start of riding season. On the East Coast, I have a touring bike, so you can still ride in the cold weather, but I know a lot of you don't, especially in the sport touring community. But I wanted to put this video out. It provided me a lot with, like I said, great airflow. It's extremely quiet, and I can't stress enough how much that took me back. I wasn't expecting it to be as quiet as it was for its price point. So at $529, when you look at a Schuberth at $599 and Shoei at $749, you can kind of see the value in that. I think it's worth looking at. It's definitely something that it's going to be in my helmet rotation. I'm going to be wearing it a lot more. And to that, I'm going to be putting out a long-term review, probably in about a year from now, to talk about that. So if that is something you're interested in, please consider subscribing. But there's one more thing. So if you've seen in the video, in the B-roll that I've run, this is their Ruby mirrored shield. I think it looks absolutely fantastic on this helmet. They do make a line of mirrored helmets or mirrored shields for the helmet, so you can mix it up. I think the black on red is phenomenal. I'm not a matchy to my bike guy because my bike is black and red, but I think this with just the slight red accents looks really cool. So that's really all I have for you guys. Hopefully I'm going to have an opportunity to review more Scorpion helmets for you, but I think it's a great value for its money and something you might want to consider checking out. So guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. And as always, please remember, you're not alone.